Was it merely genius, or something far darker? Behind the gilded myth of Leonardo da Vinci, a chamber remained hidden, locked, whispered about in fragments of letters, testimonies, and codices, a place so private that even his closest associates dared not enter. For centuries, its contents were obscured, destroyed, or encoded, until subtle clues in his surviving notebooks began to hint at a secret that history has struggled to erase. Welcome to NoetEra, Hidden Lives, where the secrets history tried to bury are brought to light. Today, we explore the locked room Leonardo never wanted anyone to see, and the shocking, controversial truths that lurk behind its walls. Florence, late Renaissance, the city of light, art, and innovation. Yet, even here, shadows coexisted with brilliance. Documents, once cataloged and then mysteriously erased, suggest that Leonardo maintained a chamber accessible only to himself. Within it, manuscripts, sketches, and experimental notes reveal work so radical that it could have destroyed his reputation if known in his time. Among the surviving evidence are fragments of the Codex Arundel and Codex Atlanticus, but hidden between the publicly known sketches are coded annotations, anatomical studies of humans that go far beyond accepted norms. Veins and nerves are drawn not merely for artistic reference, but with an attention to precision suggesting experimentation that brushes against moral boundaries. Some scholars argue these were theoretical exercises, imagining the body as a machine to understand nature's secrets. Others insist that the detail and execution suggest hands-on work, experiments no apprentice would ever have witnessed openly. A letter, possibly from an anonymous assistant, reads, "He locks himself in at night. The instruments, cold and curved, make us afraid. The door closes behind him, and he is gone for hours. We whisper, but no one dares speak." Codices from distant archives hint at similar themes. Coded sketches depict human forms intertwined with mechanical apparatuses. Some theorists propose Leonardo was experimenting with automata fused with anatomy. Others dismiss it as allegorical, a meditation on mortality and the fragility of life. Yet the repeated references across multiple notebooks and the obsessive detail in his anatomical sketches suggest something deliberate, something real and deeply forbidden. Consider the first theory, supported by the majority of art historians. Leonardo's work was purely artistic and observational. Every unusual form, every hybrid anatomical diagram, is an attempt to reconcile nature's chaos with artistic perfection. According to this interpretation, the locked room was no more than a private studio, containing studies for paintings like the Vitruvian Man, a place where no one would disturb his concentration. But then there is the alternative, more controversial theory, manuscripts discovered in private. European collections suggest that Leonardo explored living anatomy in ways that violated contemporary moral codes. Some codices include notes in mirrored handwriting, seemingly intended to obscure meaning. For those who dare see beneath the skin, the truth will weigh heavier than conscience. Could these be evidence of experiments conducted in secrecy, involving more than observation? Perhaps dissection beyond cadavers, or anatomical manipulations unknown to the public. Apprentices' diaries, surviving only in fragments, hint at disappearances or abrupt departures, sometimes coinciding with Leonardo's nocturnal work in the hidden chamber. Another layer of interpretation comes from contemporary testimony, including letters between Francesco Melzi, Leonardo's closest pupil, and other Renaissance scholars. Melzi hints at hybrid forms, human anatomy intertwined with mechanical designs, yet refuses to specify details. Writing only. The master's work is profound and terrible. Speak of it, and the world will not forgive you. This introduces an ethical paradox. Was Leonardo driven by curiosity alone, or did he knowingly cross boundaries that society, even in the Renaissance, considered taboo? The documents give no definitive answer. They present a pendulum, genius and moral transgression, creativity and horror, science and secret obsession. The chamber itself, reconstructed from inventories, letters and sketches, offers clues. Descriptions of the room: small, windowless, with heavy oak, furniture and metallic instruments. It suggests a laboratory rather than a studio. The air, sealed for decades, must have smelled of oil, metal, and the faint decay of organic matter, creating a mix of awe and dread. Tools are described as curved and precise, some resembling surgical instruments unknown in other Renaissance collections. A fragment from an erased ledger notes, "The young apprentice trembled at the scent, left the room unbidden, never to return to the master's presence the same." Could Leonardo have been experimenting on live models? Some scholars caution against drawing conclusions from fragmentary evidence, suggesting these writings are hyperbolic, designed to protect the secrecy of study rather than indicate unethical conduct. Yet when multiple sources converge, coded sketches, cryptic notes, apprentice testimonies, and missing inventory items, a disturbing pattern emerges. Among the most provocative evidence are coded manuscripts, rediscovered in archives in Milan and Paris, which seem deliberately encrypted to avoid detection. One sequence in the Codex Atlanticus includes symbols and letters unfamiliar even to seasoned cryptographers. The flesh obeys the machine obeys the flesh. Interpretations vary wildly. Some experts argue this is a philosophical meditation on the human body's mechanistic qualities. Others see the phrase as a literal description of hybrid anatomical devices, possibly combining human tissue with mechanical prosthetics, or even automata experiments meant to simulate life itself. Conflicting historical accounts support both interpretations. A 16th century scholar dismisses rumors as fantastic imaginings of a mind too brilliant to conform, whereas a Vatican librarian, writing decades later, refers to destroyed notebooks containing work unspeakable, hidden, and dangerous to know. The pendulum swings between extreme interpretations: genius as visionary philosopher, and genius as forbidden experimenter. Letters, diaries, and codices reconstruct the past in fragments. One letter from a contemporary, possibly Lorenzo de' Medici, reads, "He works in secret, not for vanity, nor for fame, but as if chasing a truth the world is not ready to hold." Damaged murals in lesser-known villas hint at anatomical forms never fully realized. Part human, part machinery, part allegory, certain symbols appear repeatedly. Triangles, circles, and mirrored figures, all of which correspond to sketches in hidden codices. Scholars disagree. Are these allegories for mortality, warnings against transgression, or technical instructions? Testimonies from apprentices and assistants, though fragmented, often align with the manuscripts. They describe fear, awe, and ethical unease. A recurring motif suggesting that Leonardo himself may have recognized the taboo nature of his work, intentionally restricting access and encoding his knowledge. A particularly disturbing fragment reads, "The body does not lie, yet the master teaches us to see beyond the flesh." Some leave the room shaken, their souls heavy with questions. The contradictions multiply when considering anatomical sketches alongside personal letters. A sketch of a human circulatory system is overlaid with mechanical cogs. In another codex, a note reads, "One may repair the vessel, yet the spirit resists." Some modern historians interpret this as metaphorical, a meditation on life, death, and the body as machine. Others propose that Leonardo explored ways to manipulate living tissue, even experimenting with mechanics to sustain or alter life. The same evidence fuels opposing interpretations. Innovation versus ethical transgression. Visionary genius versus secret hubris. A 17th century source claims he left instructions to destroy certain manuscripts. Only fragments remain, smudged, charred, hidden in private collections. What was so dangerous that even Leonardo feared exposure? Here lies the forbidden curiosity. Evidence that was deliberately erased, encoded or locked away, teasing modern investigators with glimpses of something society was never meant to see. Among the surviving relics is a small lock, etched with geometric symbols, matching sketches in Leonardo's notebooks. The lock itself may have been a warning, a message, or a marker of taboo. Its design is repeated in miniature diagrams, triangles intersecting circles, mirrored lines, and tiny annotations. Each artifact suggests intent, secrecy, and a profound awareness of moral risk. One fragmentary manuscript includes a statement in mirrored writing. The door closes, but the truth lingers. For those who dare to understand, the forbidden nature of these studies cannot be overstated. Every letter, sketch, and testimony forms a web of secrecy, oscillating between evidence of radical genius and possible moral transgression. Some claim the locked room contained purely theoretical explorations, allegories and musings on anatomy. Others insist it was a laboratory for experiments that modern ethical codes would condemn. Every fragment, letter, or sketch supports one interpretation, while undermining another. A provocative question emerges. Did Leonardo simply imagine what could never be? Or did he act upon forbidden knowledge, hidden behind the door that history almost forgot? Hybrid anatomical sketches appear repeatedly, humans intertwined with mechanical structures, sometimes rendered in anatomical detail, other times symbolic. Coded notes suggest procedures, perhaps speculative, perhaps practical. Contemporary letters hint at apprentices' discomfort, fear, and awe, reinforcing the notion that whatever occurred in that room was extraordinary, secret, and morally ambiguous. Even the placement of sketches within notebooks matters. Pages believed lost, references erased, and coded annotations suggest an obsessive layering of secrecy, as if Leonardo both sought and feared discovery. Fragments of a diary from a 16th century assistant describe, the master spoke of the body as a machine, yet some nights he lingered on sketches we dared not interpret. Fearful or fascinated, we left the room with our minds burdened by questions we could not voice. Look closely at the sketches themselves. Some veins and nerves are drawn in impossible configurations, angles and intersections that do not exist in human anatomy. One codex fragment even overlays skeletal structure with mechanical apparatus, a fusion of flesh and machine. What was Leonardo attempting? Could he have envisioned prosthetic enhancements, life-sustaining devices, or manipulations of the human form never imagined before the modern era? The manuscripts provide no answer, only the forbidden glimpse, the tantalizing echo of something humanity was not meant to know. At least, not yet. Whether the locked room contained a visionary genius's hidden studies, a laboratory of forbidden experiments, or metaphorical explorations of life and death, remains unresolved. Every surviving artifact, testimony, and codex fragment forms a pendulum swinging between possibilities, refusing to settle. Whether these clues reveal a forgotten truth or the carefully orchestrated whispers of genius is left for the audience to decide. If you want more forbidden histories and hidden truths, subscribe to NoetEra and continue this journey into the shadows of history.